Right now at 5, Carthage Fire and Mercy EMS respond to a fatal Harley-Davidson crash north of Carthage.
And we've got some patchy fog out there. Otherwise, a pretty decent day shaping up for us with above normal temperatures. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, Representative Eric Burleson tackles Missouri's manufacturing crisis on visit to Missouri Southern.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now officially Monday, September the 29th. One more day after today, and then we are in October.
Certainly are, yes.
You won't know it, though. Not at least this week. It's not going to feel at all like October over the next several days. It's going to be quite warm. And, I mean, the overnight lows aren't too bad. Even this morning, not too shabby. Start with a live look downtown Pittsburgh, where things are looking pretty good. We do have some patchy fog, which we'll show you here in just a moment. Our camera 7th and range line in Joplin looking good, as well as the MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin looking back to the north. So here's the fog tracker. So we've got some reduced visibilities here and there, not everybody, but the densest fog is into western Montgomery County and into parts of Elk and Chautauqua counties, where Independence is down just under 2 miles of visibility. We also have some patchy fog around the Grand Lake area, up toward Iola, just under 6 miles. So no dense fog advisories with any of this morning, but we do have some of that patchy fog out there. Now, once that burns off about 9 o'clock or so, we're going to have a mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. We are otherwise going to remain dry, and our temperatures will remain above normal over the next several days out there. Our overnight lows, though, not that bad. In fact, this morning, we're not right where we should be exactly, but we're pretty close. We've got some upper 50s and low 60s across the area. So again, it's not a bad start to the day temperature-wise. And as kids head out the door, we're looking at going into about 60. Could still have some patchy fog out there. Then partly cloudy to skies through the day, about 80 by lunch and recess time, 83 as they head home. We'll go upper 60s, and again, maybe some patchy fog holding on by 9 o'clock. 80 by noon. Our highs today, low to mid 80s, which is not where we're supposed to be. Upper 70s by 6 with a southeast breeze around 5 to 10 miles an hour. We're going to tell you how long this warm weather is going to stick around and when the fall weather might return here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, just after 1:30 Friday on I-49, traffic north of Carthage was delayed as a Harley-Davidson motorcycle crashed into the median. Carthage Fire and Mercy EMS rushed to the scene, and although life-saving measures were performed, the male did not survive. The southbound motorcycle lost control, traveled to the edge of the road, and struck a delineator post, then continued into the median and crashed. Jasper County Coroner James Harrison tells KOAM Jacob Morby, a 41-year-old from Bonner Springs, Kansas, died on the scene. Missouri Congressman Eric Burleson kicked off National Manufacturing Month by touring local companies. Eagle Pitcher and Duke Moon. He capped it off with lunch at Missouri Southern State University alongside students and community leaders. Burleson, who chairs the House Subcommittee on Economic Growth, Energy Policy, and Regulatory Affairs, says Joplin's manufacturing sector plays a vital role in U.S. security, with local companies producing components for defense systems like Israel's Iron Dome.
The Iron Dome would not exist if it weren't for people in my district in Joplin, Missouri, who are manufacturing components for the Iron Dome. Whenever I'm talking to somebody who's building a anybody in the DoD who's working on a Tomahawk helicopter, or someone who's working on the Artemis rocket, or I would say that project is not possible if it weren't for the amazing people in Joplin, Missouri.
When the House returns to session on October 7th, Burleson says he will continue pushing to rein in government spending as the House passed budget measure remains stalled in the Senate. And federal immigration officials are reportedly showing interest in property in Arkansas that could become an immigration detention facility. The Franklin County Sheriff's Department says that they have been in direct contact with immigration officials. Claire Everbach has more.
Sheriff Crocker says this site is not equipped for the proposed 3,000-bed prison, nor a detention facility.
This does not have the resources. It doesn't have the structure. The highways aren't there. This is not the right place, especially for ICE agents that are bringing in cartel members
After his deputy says they saw 3 ICE agents and the governor's senior advisor at the site, Crocker says he believes the entire process needs to be more open.
Talk to the people, be honest with people, don't lie to people. And if they don't want it, then don't put it there.
Community members agree. Gravel and Grit Director Adam Watson says many officials were unaware of the ICE agents' visit.
Local legislators didn't know, community officials didn't know, our representatives at the federal level didn't know, Department of Corrections didn't know, Board of Corrections didn't know. So it's very clear that this is a unilateral effort by the governor's office to once again dictate the future of this county, this district, and overall the whole state.
Watson says he would like to see more communication from state leaders.
We see Mr. Porfiry come out to Franklin County to look at the site with ICE agents. The one thing that they don't have time to do is show up to the legislature and ask questions or answer questions. And if they're not going to do that, then the citizens are really kind of just left holding a bag wondering what's going on.
Franklin County Judge Ricky Bowman says he feels the county has been left out of the decision making.
We've been kept in the dark. There's just not any transparency about this whole situation all the way through. And that's unfortunate. I wish that the governor's team would be more transparent with us.
He is left wondering why federal authorities are considering this site at all.
My question is, why is Franklin County, the proposed prison site, now being considered by ICE to detain individuals that they pick up across the United States, when the federal government actually has a facility just a few miles from there at Fort Chaffee?
Now to look at this morning's top stories and weather coming up on the KOAM Morning News.
Former FBI Director James Comey is indicted amid President Trump's push to target his political opponents. I'm Erica Brown with the criminal charges and reaction from President Trump.
Plus, students in Lamar, Missouri rake in some money for a good cause. And we have warm and sunny conditions across the 4 states. Chris has a look at this week's forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Time now, 5:07. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch, President Trump calls former FBI Director James Comey a, quote, dirty cop after Comey was indicted by Trump's hand-picked U.S. attorney. And he says more indictments could be coming. Erica Brown has more details from the White House.
President Trump celebrated the Justice Department's indictment of former FBI Director James Comey. It's a major escalation in Trump's push to prosecute his critics. But the president insists these charges are not retribution.
It's about justice, really. It's not revenge. It's about justice. It's also about the fact that you can't let this go on. They are sick, radical left people, and they can't get away with it.
Comey is set to be arraigned next month on 1 count of obstruction of a congressional proceeding and 1 count of making false statements related to his 2020 Senate testimony when he denied authorizing leaking information to the media.
I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent. So let's have a trial and keep the faith.
This indictment comes days after President Trump publicly urged his Attorney General Pam Bondi to target Comey and other political opponents, including New York Attorney General Letitia James and Democratic Senator Adam Schiff.
They weaponized the Justice Department like nobody in history. What they've done is terrible. And so I hope there are others, because you can't let this happen to a country.
The former top prosecutor in the Eastern District of Virginia declined to prosecute Comey and was replaced by Trump's former personal attorney and White House aide, Lindsay Halligan, who secured an indictment.
American prosecutors, federal prosecutors, the DOJ is supposed to be an independent, apolitical body that's essential to preserve democratic values, precisely for the reasons we see playing out right here.
Democratic lawmakers have sharply criticized the charges as an abuse of power. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
ABC News has learned former U.S. Attorney Eric Seibert wrote a declination memo outlining reasons why criminal charges should not be filed against Comey. A source tells CBS News that memo is now, quote, under lock and key. Well, still to come, the Queen of Christmas, Mariah Carey, releases her first album in 7 years. Plus, clear skies and sunny conditions. Chris returns with another look at your Monday forecast. Mariah Carey is gifting fans with long-awaited new music, and everyone's favorite basketball-playing dog from the 90s returns in a whole new way. Gwen Baumgartner has those stories and a whole lot more in your Eye on Entertainment.
The Queen of Christmas is ringing in the new week with some new music. Mariah Carey gifting fans her 16th album, Here for It All, an R&B compilation of 11 tracks.
I was working on this album for so long, and I didn't even know, was I going to put it out? What was it going to be?
It's been 7 years since Carey last released an album, but according to Carey, she's now entering, quote, the era of me. Mariah's new album is out now. Buddy scored his way into our hearts nearly 30 years ago.
No way.
And now Air Bud is headed back to the court and the cinema with a new movie, Air Bud Returns. But unlike the prior films, Air Bud Returns is casting 2 golden retrievers to star in the lead role. More than 5,000 families submitted videos of their dogs as part of the casting call, with Charlie and Summer selected. Filming for Air Bud Returns begins this week. Dinosaurs may be extinct, but the Jurassic Park franchise lives on.
Don't see that every day or ever.
A new computer game will give fans an immersive experience, allowing gamers to create their own virtual Jurassic World.
You've now got an incredible number of options available to you in terms of the variety of buildings, scenery you can create. You can modify the landscape to create waterfalls, multiple layers of terrain.
Jurassic World Evolution 3 launches October 21st on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
All right, looks incredible. Let's take it over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, and our forecast looking pretty incredible as well. Unfortunately, though, well above average out there for us. We'll break down the details, talk about how much longer this warm weather lasts when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now is 5:17. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:19 on this Monday morning. Happy Monday. We've only got one more day after this and we're October, but once we get to the extended forecast, you're going to see why it's not really going to be October-like at all. We do have some patchy fog out there this morning. The densest fog right now is confined to parts of western Montgomery County and into parts of Elk and Chautauqua counties as well. So Independence on the fringe of this, so just under 2 miles of visibility, but as you see, as you head further west, we get those darker colors, so you got to watch out. We also have some reduced visibilities, Iola and Grove around the Grand Lake area. Really, it's truly patchy because you see Pittsburgh's reporting just over 7 miles. We go down the road just a bit, Joplin is clear. And that's the other thing, even on the, again, my little commute from here to here, ran into some of that patchy fog where for a moment it was very light, nothing major, and then visibility dropped suddenly, and then a tenth of a mile down, it cleared right back up. So take a look at the updates. I've not seen an update live like that very often, but you can see some of the changes, but we still want to watch out. Still got to be careful. You know the drill. Low beams, rather, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. And just slow down. And more importantly, again, just based on my short commute, and that's just one stretch of road here, not to mention all the others, we got to watch out for those rapidly changing visibilities. As we head into the afternoon, not much to discuss. We are looking at a mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will be above normal. Overnight, we're partly cloudy, but as we get further overnight into the very early morning hours on our Tuesday, we're going to start to go mostly cloudy. Future track is hinting at maybe an isolated sprinkle or two with those mostly cloudy skies, but the chance right now, it's less than 5%. But if you get a little drizzle, a little brief sprinkle out there tomorrow, don't be surprised. Now, as we go overnight, Tuesday into Wednesday, skies begin to clear just a bit, and we'll go back to that mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies as we head through our Wednesday. And other, again, than maybe a sprinkle or two tomorrow. No rain chances out there. So getting our day started, again, some of that fog lasting through about 9 a.m. We'll go low 60s to start, upper 70s by 11 a.m. Into the afternoon, our highs today, low to mid 80s with a southeast breeze at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight tonight, again, our lows, they're not exactly where they should be, but they're not that far off. They're not as far off as our daytime highs are going to be. We'll be back into the upper 50s, some low 60s, calm winds, and could get some isolated patchy fog again overnight tonight. Low to mid 80s tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, maybe even some upper 80s out there, which is ridiculous considering that this is October, and we're looking at highs into the upper 80s. But worry not, we're still several days away, but we're going to keep our fingers crossed. As we go into Sunday and the start of next week, we have another system coming in that brings us at least some isolated shower and thunderstorm chances, but should hopefully also bring our temperatures back down to much more seasonable levels by next week. So hopefully this warm spell is just a brief warm spell and not something that's going to be long-lived out there. But be prepared for it to be a little warmer if you're heading out to some of the fall events. Not really going to feel like fall yet. That's a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a large study of over 1 million pregnant women finds the COVID vaccine is safe for expecting mothers. A Harvard analysis shows pregnant women who received the COVID shot not only had a 58% lower risk of being infected, but also had a lower risk of stillbirth and preterm birth. Researchers say the study confirms existing research that COVID vaccinations offer significant benefits to both mothers and newborns. Young adults are being fed misinformation about sexual health on TikTok. A study presented at an American Academy of Pediatrics meeting shows that 21% of TikTok videos about sexual and reproductive health made by non-medical professionals contain inaccurate and potentially unsafe information. Researchers say medical professionals need to work harder to clear up misconceptions and misinformation among young people. And more pregnant women in the U.S. are choosing to have at-home births. Research by Cincinnati Children's found out-of-hospital births have doubled in recent years. The trend is common among young, highly educated mothers and those who are more likely to have a higher body mass index. The American College of Gynecologists advises against planned home births for higher-risk pregnancies. Well, September is Cancer Awareness Month, and students in Lamar, Missouri took it upon themselves to do some good. KOAM's Mitch Adams explains what students did and the difference they made for a local organization.
Students at Lamar Middle School are making a difference, $1 at a time.
Students, when they came in the morning, there were some student council people collecting money. You could just donate money if you wanted to, but if you donate money, you're allowed to wear a hat for the day. And around here, a lot of people like to wear hats, so that raises get a lot of money. And there were some other people that matched some of the donations that helped us get to the $530 that we ended up donating to his foundation.
That foundation was none other than the Christian Heddy Foundation, founded by KOAM's very own Doug Heddy, who made a guest appearance to accept the money raised by the school.
They told us he had tumors all through his stomach, and we had to, at that point in time, he had stage 4 cancer. It was all over, and we didn't even know.
Someone you see on news every day, something's going on. He's someone that helps keep us all safe during tornadoes and weather alerts. And it's just cool to have somebody that important in everyone else's life come and see him in person and not just be ignorant to the little schools, but he actually came and accepted the money himself and showed that he cares too.
To see somebody in their eyes that's really big, as a movie star to some of them, it's really great for them to be able to see in person and have that interaction and just feel like they were important and gave to a really good cause.
The school principal, J.D. Gee, says that he is excited to see what the students do next year to keep this fundraiser going.
Bring in a little more ideas. They're already starting to brainstorm some more ideas for next year of maybe doing something even more than just one day.
Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, more than 100 people gather in Pittsburgh to help raise awareness and resources for people struggling with Alzheimer's.
And some patchy fog out there for some of us. Otherwise, skies clearing a bit this afternoon. Temperatures warming up. The latest coming up.
Plus, the 28th Carl Junction Bluegrass Festival returned this weekend.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:29. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Monday, September the 29th, and tomorrow, of course, the 30th, which means that Wednesday kicks off October. Are you ready, though, for October?
It's about time.
Yeah, kids picking out their Halloween costumes, so we're getting all that squared away. That's. Have you decided if you're going to be anything for Halloween this year?
Oh, I'm not sure. It's it's so fun when you're a kid, of course.
When
you get older, it's fun to see everyone else dress up sometimes.
That's true. That's true. Well, the wife and I, we still like to dress up occasionally because we got the kids. We look awkward if you're not dressed up with the kids, but hopefully you're getting ready for all of that, and hopefully you're ready for it to not feel like October, because it's not going to for a little while. Let's start though with that live look outside downtown Pittsburgh, and there it is. Looking good so far. Same from our camera at 7th and Range Line in Joplin. We'll head to the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, just down the road, looking back to the north, and it's looking fairly good this morning as well. A little deserted this morning, but that's all right. It won't take long for it, of course, to fill up. All right, patchy fog out there, as you can see. The densest fog in our area at this point is still parts of western Montgomery County and into Elk and Chautauqua counties out there. Independence, just over 2 miles of visibility. We've got some reduced visibilities also around the Grand Lake area in parts of Delaware, southern Ottawa, and western McDonald counties. And we've got some reduced visibilities. Remember, 10 is right where you want to be. So technically anything less than 10 constitutes fog, but I mean like 9.9, 9.1. That's not really that big of a difference. But you also need to watch out. The little drive I take in the morning from Joplin to here, there were areas of patchy, dense fog. So it's not necessarily going to show up on the fog tracker, but there's some rural areas there where that fog thickens up. So low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them, and just be aware of the potential for rapidly changing visibilities. Fog goes away, and once it does, we are looking at a mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. As we head through the afternoon, we will be warm, we will be dry. Our temperatures this morning, they're not right where they should be, but most of them are pretty close. We got some upper 50s and low 60s. Sedan is the cooler spot right now, it looks like, sitting at 55, and we've got a mix of 61s. Lamar, though, and Stockton, the warmer spots at 62. Kids heading out the door should be right about 60, patchy fog. We'll go about 80 by lunch and recess, and about 83 as they head home this afternoon. Go upper 60s by 9, and still some patchy fog. Should be gone after 9. Go about 80 by noon, and our highs today low to mid 80s, and these low to mid 80s will continue as we head into October. But how long will they continue into October? The answer here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, some Joplin residents gathered at the Joplin Avenue Coffee Company to share stories from local history and Ozarks folklore. The event, called the Joplin Story Swap, gave participants a chance to swap tales, enjoy coffee, and connect with the community. Organizers plan to meet every third Sunday, encouraging anyone to join, whether to tell a story or just listen.
This is a group of people that are interested in all kinds of storytelling. We're interested in everything from fairy tales to Joplin history. It's very, very broad, and we're all interested in sharing our stories and finding audiences and encouraging people to learn how to, be better at storytelling.
Now, the group hopes to make it a regular gathering, giving everyone a chance to tell a story, listen, and connect with the community over coffee. And a Carl Junction tradition returns for its 28th year. The Carl Junction Bluegrass Festival returned with a lineup including Living on the Edge Band, Borderline Bluegrass, and a whole lot more. The car show makes its return this year and raised money for the local shop with the COP program. The event also included more than 100 vendors, a kids area, and a petting zoo. And families in Newton County had the chance to enjoy a full day of fun while supporting education. The festival raises money for Neosho Christian School and featured activities the whole family could enjoy. Admissions were just $10 per car, making it an affordable way to spend the day together while giving back to the community. Well, the walk to end Alzheimer's took place at Guerrilla Village in Pittsburgh over the weekend. More than 100 people took part in the walk, including a researcher and former SAK president Matthew Taylor. KOM's very own Tanya Bach was the MC for the event, and the event raised money for Alzheimer's research and breakthroughs.
It's exciting to be here and be where I grew up, and to see that this disease affects people all over the world. It's just great to be here and see that there are people that are taking advocacy roles, that are working towards the elimination of this disease.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Paralyzed at 14 months, hear one survivor's crusade to prevent other tragedies. Plus, singer Joe Jonas teams up with Krispy Kreme for National Coffee Day. We'll have the latest. Time now, 5:34. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch, a possible government shutdown on Wednesday could have far-reaching economic consequences. A new analysis from EY Artheon finds each week a shutdown could cost the U.S. economy about $7 billion. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers would not get paid, which could cause financial hardships. Federal contractors could also lose funding, which could delay the delivery of some goods and services. And around 58 million pounds of Hillshire Brands corn dogs and other sausage on a stick products are being recalled because pieces of wood may have gotten into the batter. The products include State Fair corn dogs on a stick and Jimmy Dean pancake sausage on a stick. They were produced between March 17th and as recently as this past Friday. Some consumers have reported injuries. The products should be thrown away or returned to the place of purchase. And Java lovers, you're in luck because today is National Coffee Day at Dunkin' Donuts. The very special day will get you a free medium hot or iced coffee if you purchase it on the company's app. Singer Joe Jonas is pairing with Krispy Kreme so you can get a free cup of Joe, a medium hot or iced coffee to pair with your choice of donut in stores or at the drive-thru and at Starbucks. Any coffee will award you 100 bonus stars in the app, enough for a free cup. Starbucks is also launching its new protein cold foam and protein lattes today. Well, since 2018, federal law has required backup cameras in all new vehicles. New research shows the law significantly reduces injury and death rates in small children. CBS's Bradley Blackburn introduces us to a man who advocated for the change.
31-year-old Patrick Iveson has no memory of ever walking. At 14 months old, he got out of a car with his mom and the driver backed up, pinning his small body behind the rear passenger wheel.
The back passenger side bumper clipped me and pulled me out of her hand, and then the tire ran my head over.
Iveson suffered a spinal cord injury and only regained some mobility after the accident.
I'm still technically a quadriplegic because I have impairment in all four limbs.
Federal law as of 2018 requires backup cameras in all new vehicles. New research from UT Health Houston found that mandate is associated with a nearly 50% reduction in severe injuries and 78% fewer deaths in children.
And this was really astounding to us.
Dr. Natalie Drucker says the research was prompted after she and her colleagues began to see a drop in these traumas.
We had an anecdotally noticed that over the past several years, we've been seeing fewer backover injuries. Whereas several years ago it was very common.
While that's welcome news, backup camera technology isn't in all vehicles on the roads today. And doctors say those with older cars or no ability to upgrade them are still at risk.
You can't avoid hitting something that you can't see.
Amber Rollins with the organization Kids and Car Safety says ongoing advocacy is key.
Even still today, most people don't know that you can add a rear view camera to your vehicle if it doesn't already have one.
Iveson says the first thing he did when he started driving an older van was install a backup camera.
It's so cheap to do. If you have an older car, I don't see any sense in not adding one.
A small investment that can make a huge difference. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
The organization Kids and Car Safety says now that backup cameras are standard, the cost of aftermarket cameras has gone down significantly. You can find them ranging from $30 to $40, all the way up to a couple hundred. And that's a look at Consumer Watch. Let's take it over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, our camera downtown Pittsburgh looking pretty good so far this morning, but we do have some patchy fog across the area. Break down the details, talk about how long our well above average temperatures will last when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now is 5:41. We'll be right back.
Well, the agriculture economy is in a slump, but President Trump may have an idea to help farmers. Details in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Tyne Morgan with today's Ag Day Minute. With farmers fighting to make any kind of profit this year, President Trump is suggesting the tariffs being collected right now could go to farmers. The president making that announcement from the Oval Office while meeting with Turkey's president.
We're going to distribute it to our farmers until the tariffs kick into their benefit, which ultimately the farmers are going to be making a fortune. But it's a process of it has to kick in.
The U.S. farm economy is in a slump due to lower crop prices, higher input costs, as well as trade issues. Republican lawmakers have warned that farmers are facing significant losses and have urged the administration to issue aid by the end of the year. The U.S. Department of Justice Antitrust Division will be working with USDA to look into the rising costs of ag inputs, including fertilizer and seeds. Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins making that announcement. She says between 2020 and now, seed expenses have increased 18%, fertilizer expenses up 37%, and interest expenses increased by a whopping 73%. Well, one price that will remain the same, Costco's hot dog and drink combo. The former CFO of Costco telling Fortune that it will never cost more than $1.50. It's been that price for nearly 4 decades. The former CFO says the price remains the same to send a message that Costco is holding the line on low prices. For more ag news, watch Ag Day weekdays on this station or get updates at agweb.com.
Right now, here's Chris with the full look at today's forecast.
Yeah, some of us are starting with some patchy fog out there this morning. Our densest fog still into western Montgomery County and then parts of Elk and Chautauqua County. So we do have reduced visibilities outside of that zone. Fredonia, Sedan, for example. Independence just under 2 miles. Still some fog around the Grand Lake area, so parts of Delaware, southern Ottawa, western McDonald counties. And those are where really our most reduced visibilities are. We do have some other locations slightly reduced. Nevada, Stockton, Iola, Yates Center, Chanute just over 7 miles. Parsons at 7.5, Newada, Vanitas. So it is patchy, but you do want to watch out. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. And also just watch out for that potential for rapidly changing visibilities. I've shared all morning, but just the brief drive from here to here, coming in on Old 96, there were parts of it perfectly fine or very light fog, like it barely made a difference at all. And then all of a sudden that visibility would drop for 1/10 to 1/4 of a mile, and then it would clear back out. So just watch out for that. Just because it's not necessarily showing up on the fog tracker doesn't mean it's not out there. Outside of that, once that fog burns off, we are looking at a mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies as we head through our Monday afternoon and evening. As we go overnight, we're partly cloudy, and then as we get past midnight, maybe 2 a.m., we'll start to see clouds begin to gradually thicken up, and we'll go mostly cloudy as we start our Tuesday, and will be mostly cloudy throughout the day on Tuesday. Future track is heading at maybe a sprinkle or two, really just about anywhere. The chance is less than 5%, but don't be surprised if you get a brief sprinkle or a little shower. But anything out there would be very short-lived, and the majority of us, if not almost all of us, will be dry. Now, as we go overnight, Tuesday into Wednesday, skies will begin to clear again. We start going partly cloudy, and we're back to mostly clear to partly cloudy skies as we roll through our Wednesday as well. The main theme on all of these days is going to be the temperatures as they remain well above average out there. Patchy fog again continues through about 9 o'clock this morning. We'll be into the upper 60s by 8, and then, the low 60s by 8, upper 70s. That's where the upper part is, upper 70s by about 11 o'clock this morning. Into the afternoon we go. Again, that mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Eventually our temperatures climbing low to mid 80s, which is just kind of wild. And October starts on Wednesday, and it's not going to be like October at all, unfortunately. Southeast winds about 5 to 10. Into the evening we go. Still that mix of partly cloudy to mostly clear skies, with clouds gradually becoming thicker. We get more clouds as we go overnight. On our lows, again, like this morning, they're not exactly on the money where we should be, but they're not as far off as our daytime highs have been here lately as we go into the upper 50s, maybe some low 60s. So here's the first day of October, 85. So we're talking low mid 80s through at least Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, more sunshine out there, going into the upper 80s. We're talking about getting close to 90 for October, close to 90 in October, the very first few days of. So a very warm start. So we're going to be dry. if you're heading out to any of the fall festivals, spook houses, anything like that, you just need to be prepared for it to be a little warmer than you may typically be used to. And then as we head into the weekend, the start of next week, still several days away, but we are looking at a system coming through, maybe a weak cold front, that while it doesn't bring us much in the way of rain chances, at least not right now, it does bring our temperatures back down to more fall-like norms into the upper 70s. Hopefully those rain chances go up because we do still need some rain across the area. Otherwise, at least there's some rain out there, and hopefully our temperatures dropping back near normal by next week. That's a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with sports.
Back-to-back wins, and over the weekend the Gorillas hope to keep that going on the road against Emporia State. That's a Gorilla versus a Hornet matchup in Emporia. Opening drive, third down for the Gorillas. The handoff goes to Cleo Chandler, who finds space and he breaks some ankles on a 68-yard touchdown run. PSU strikes first for an early 7-0 lead. Next Gorilla drive, Jake Wolf in at quarterback, and he connects with Grayson Holbert on the quick throw. He's in the end zone. PSU extends their lead. Now here we come. The Hornets, though, trailing 14-3 and in the red zone. Ben Harris finds Malik Oedis for the touchdown, cutting the deficit to 14-10. Next CSU drive, Harris with the quick hitter to Mason Ford. He somehow sneaks through the group of Gorilla defenders, going 40 yards for the score. Now the Hornets now lead 16-14, closing minutes of the first half, and there goes that man again. Chandler finds a hole and explodes down the sideline for a 51-yard gain, and that would help set up a goal to go situation for PSU. Jackson Berry evading pressure and delivering a strike to Jalen Travis for the go-ahead score. Gorillas lead 21-16 at half, but stayed back in the red zone, sticking to the run game. This time, Zamari Pelode-Gary, who finds a seam and scores from 16 yards out, and the lead grows to 19 points. Coming off a Hornet score, Pitt State looking to seal the deal, and it's Pelode-Gary once again taking it 74 yards to the house. He had over 180 yards on the ground and 2 scores. The Gorillas win their third straight game, defeating Emporia State 42-29.
Proud of our guys and the way they battled all game. Proud of our coaches, put together a plan, all 3 phases. I thought we executed pretty well today. And I mean, Emporia's a dang good football team. We knew they were going to run a lot of plays and get some yards, and we just knew we had to kind of minimize that, and offense was able to run the football and control the clock a little bit.
It's great when you can have offense that explosive. It's just we played great complementary football. When we got big stops, offense made big plays. Like we just played hand in hand all game, and that's really what we're about. And it's dangerous when we can complement each other like that.
Let's head indoors, where 2 local Missouri high school volleyball teams faced off this past weekend. Girl Junction hosting their annual CJ Classic volleyball tournament. Defending champs Webb City looking to keep their title against Nevada. First set, this game was back and forth. Jaylee Van Buesler gets this championship match going with an ace. Lady Cards take an early lead, but check this out. Nevada's Hallie Hawks gets the one-handed dig on the long rally. Lady Tigers recover, and Webb's Kaylin Maxwell's attack error gives Nevada a 1-point lead late in the set. But Webb City rallies. A set point for Webb. Nevada's Natalie Hope goes in for the kill, but Marley Harper rejects it. She gets the block. Webb City takes set 1 25-23. Set 2, confusion on Nevada's side, and Avery Gardner gets probably the easiest dig of her high school career. 1-point lead for the Cardinals, but the Tigers won't go away. Savannah Crane dumps it to Jocelyn Maxwell, and Nevada forms a wall to get the block and score. 2-point lead for the Tigers. Webb City serving. Tigers get the dig, and to their luck, the ball gets stuck in the net to keep it alive, but it doesn't matter. And the Cards are your CJ Classic Tournament championships again. They defeat Nevada 2-0 and finish 12-0 in sets on the day. That's a look at sports. We'll be right back. Well, the Neosho National Fish Hatchery opened its gates to senior citizens and individuals with disabilities for a special fishing derby, one of 4 annual events designed to make outdoor recreation more accessible to the community. Organizers expected 250 to 300 participants to attend this year's derby, which offers a comfortable and easy fishing experience for those who may not have access to traditional fishing spots. Hatchery provides everything needed from fishing gear to a well-maintained pond, so guests can simply relax and enjoy the day. Well, Barbie fans are finding a place where dreams come true. This Texas Airbnb is pink from floor to ceiling, literally a life-size version of Barbie's dream house. Now that includes everything from walls to furniture to kitchen appliances, and the owner is a longtime Airbnb host who grew up playing with Barbies. She's wanted to create a space in San Antonio where guests can channel their inner child. She says many of them go for the full experience.
It's certainly a unique Airbnb for sure. Now, my sister, I had to play Barbies with her in order for her to do things with me. So I don't know how many weddings I officiated between Ken and Barbie and who knows how all, but certainly a unique experience. Probably a lot of fun to go back, relive that childhood, and not feeling too nostalgic today, unless you are longing for like late August, early September, because that's what we've got on the horizon. Got some patchy fog out there through 9, low 60s to start, upper 70s by 11 o'clock this morning. Our highs today is what I'm talking about. Low mid 80s out there, mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Partly cloudy through the evening and overnight. Still upper 60s by 10, but eventually, upper 60s. And then we'll go upper 50s and low 60s overnight tonight. Clouds increasing tomorrow. Going to be mostly cloudy, but still warm. Low mid 80s. Could get an isolated sprinkle or two, but the chance is less than 5%. Temperatures continue to climb toward the end of this week into the upper 80s with sunny skies. Hoping for a cold front next week, or a system to come through should bring us some at least isolated storm chances and turn our temperatures back to more fall-like norms. That's check your forecast. Got another hour of the KOAM Morning News up next.